Hello viewers, I'm seeking some enlightenment tonight myself from these cards. I've had a couple of experiences, one today actually, where I got into a conversation with an ex-military man who was a Trump supporter. And it got me to thinking, it's not the first time this has happened. Indeed, when Trump was campaigning, I actually got into it wasn't an argument, but a discussion with someone very close to me. And I failed to see then how they could support Trump when he was mimicking a disabled reporter, when so many women had come forward accusing him of one thing or another. And where he was beginning to gaslight. And then today, there's so much evidence in the public domain which is indicating his potential conspiracy with Russia, that I again am wondering what is holding people back from understanding or realising that Trump actually potentially is a traitor. And if it's okay to support Donald Trump, then who else are they going to support? Are they going to support the politician in Australia who used taxpayers' funding to go to two neo-Nazi rallies, taxpayers' funding to attend two neo-Nazi rallies? And the rhetoric around immigration here is equally, I think, well, not equally, but certainly is comparable to the rhetoric around immigration, in the US. So this is not a US phenomenon. This is not. There are shades of what we see happening in America across the world, and I am wondering why, when there is so much evidence of collusion, if you like, alleged conspiracy, why. There are those, including in Australia, who are still failing to admit, see, acknowledge, understand that Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire. Apparently, if he is indeed that, he's certainly displayed elements of being a con artist. He's not paid people in the past, contractors. He just hasn't paid his bills. He's a liar, multiple proven lies. How on earth could anyone support them? So I want to... it's funny, I want to understand why there's a reluctance. So you'll have to bear with me tonight, because I have actually had viewers coming in on the channel and saying, what is there not to understand that Trump, that has done these things? Why is it taking so long for people to wake up? So I share your frustration, I really do. And I think it's a complex reason of psychological motivations. And mostly I get the resistance from the older generation, and particularly males. And I think it is around the lack of self-empowerment of these people. And so they look to someone like Donald Trump, who appears to be the tough man, and they identify with that. But look, let's ask Spirit, please, for some messages. Why is it taking so long for people to wake up, if you like, and acknowledge that there is evidence out there in the fact that the FBI started a counterintelligence inquiry, the fact that there was a special counsel appointed. Do they not understand that this is law enforcement doing this? This isn't the Democrats. This is law enforcement, an independent arm of politics. So, what is it? If we had a high-level police inquiry launched into our Prime Minister, he would pretty much be booted out of office. I don't know why it's taking so long to understand just who and what Donald Trump is. So enough of my belly aching. Can we have some insight into this, Spirit, please? Why is it taking so long for people around the world to understand exactly who and what Donald Trump is? Okay. Okay, the reluctance is based on their own self-needs. That's what I'm hearing coming forward. It is their own disempowerment. It is their own agendas. It is their own self-interests. It's their own habits of a lifetime that are allowing them to put the blinkers on and not see beyond those blinkers. It's self-interest. It's self-interest, and it's almost the other aspect of this is rabid politics. Okay, it's that awful jumping in and using the political wedge to really empower themselves. Okay, so it's not pleasant. That's the part of politics I really detest. Is that the emotion where someone uses it as a fight, and it's a fight to win. Okay, so here we've got the moon, and we've got look, the moon has pretty unsavoury aspects to it. It's things being kept hidden, and it's also things that need to be illuminated, and it's secrets that need to come to the surface. So this card is saying, look deeper. Look deeper when someone is stonewalling you and not accepting the evidence in front. Look deeper for the potential motivations. And we've got the Three of Wands. So again, this is like this is related to money. So you may get obviously those who are on the side of on the side. When I say on the side, you might get business people supporting another businessman, for example. You also get, this is a group phenomena as well. So, I mean, this is the Three of Wands is the card of group work, teamwork, expansion, and travel. So there's multiple reasons there illuminating what might be hidden as to their motivations, why they're refusing to see that. And that could be they're part of a group. They're feeling part of something, a movement, if you like, a cult. They're part of a cult. And it's an expansive experience for them. It takes them out of their lounge rooms, if you like, and puts them with other like-minded people. And it opens up horizons for them, albeit quite kind of twisted horizons, I guess. And generally these are people who I think in some way may be isolated or may have isolated themselves from mainstream society. Because if you think about it, the people, Donald Trump's base, if you put them in a vigorous society, vigorous environment, social environment, where would they come out? How would they fare? Okay, and the other aspect of this is compassion, because I've been thinking, as you can see, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think for me, I had to understand that these people were actually isolated from a little bit from society, and that potentially they were operating in ignorance. Let's see what else is going to come forward here. I'll just move these back so we can get a full reading in here. Now, mirroring the moon, which is, the secrets that are needing to come forward and potentially not accepting things on face value, but looking within for what might be at the root of this unacceptance, I guess, of the evidence in front of them. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is coming forward as really, it's an action card, but there's a financial aspect to it as well. what do they think? What do they think? Do they look up to someone like Donald Trump, who isn't a self-made millionaire? We don't even know that he is a billionaire. We have no idea, because he was bankrupt in, what year was it, viewers? Help me out here. Was it 2013, or might have been, yeah, when he got a bailout from Deutsche Bank, which of course you know, has that money laundering aspect to it. Do they look up to him, someone with money? This seems to be what impresses them. They see him as the Knight of Pentacles. It is, you know, all these things that disempowered people are looking up to and basically worshipping. They're worshipping the dollar, okay? And this is again what I find hard to understand, that people would put this worship on something, on greed. Okay, greed is good. The line from Wall Street, Michael Douglas delivered that line. It was a catchphrase of the 80s. Probably the 1980s and the 1990s were Donald Trump's heyday, and they were all about greed. Greed is good. So who are these people? Who are these people? They're isolated from society, and they're worshipping the dollar. You know, they really are. Again, we've got this moneyed news. This, you know, the focus again is on money. So this is really important. The fact that he is a supposed, alleged, we could dispute this, billionaire, is something that actually really enamors people. Because this is like, you know, they're wanting this from him. They're wanting this illusion of power, or allure of power, and this is what they want for themselves. So there is a very naive aspect to this. But we're not talking about young people. Most of Donald Trump's supporters will never be, I'm talking about the base, will never be billionaires or millionaires, or even, you know, they're probably flat out paying their mortgage. They probably, some of them don't even have a job. So, you know, there is this allure of the money that's dragging them in, and they see him as a man of action, a man who's, you know, who's made himself a self-made billionaire. That couldn't be that's so far from the truth. As we now know, his father, Fred, gave him his start in life. There's nothing self-made about Donald Trump, nothing at all. He has nothing in common with the people that are worshipping the dollar here. Just mirroring the Hermit card, we've got the Knight of Wands. All these knights are coming forward as though, you know, the elder, I guess, demographic of Donald Trump's base. It's allowing them to be inspired. It's allowing them to be inspired. And there's no better inspiration for ignorance than to sprout ignorance. Suspension, sacrifice. Here we get to the I guess the more poignant aspect of this reading. They see Donald Trump as the Knight of Pentacles. But really, that they are being sacrificed for Donald Trump's greed. And we've done readings on this, but this is the card now. I think it's an important point to look at, because the Hangman is coming up time and time again for Donald Trump. Just as he has sacrificed these people, so too will he be sacrificed as well. And I don't mean sacrificed as in, you know, this is almost, there's a self-sacrifice, shooting in the foot aspect to this card. It's suspension, okay? So his progress will be suspended. Karmically or any other way, in reality, this action, this Knight of Pentacles, is actually going to become this. Okay, moving forward, and it is the emotion. Look at all these knights. Knight of Pentacles, so money, the allure of money, the Knight of Wands, inspiration, riding forward, charging forward, the Knight of Cups, emotional connection, emotional linkages, emotional relationships are established here between the really the naive aspects of his base and Donald Trump. They are really they're not only accepting the proposal he put forward to them, support the billionaire, and I will do good by you. I will ensure that you have jobs, homes, health services, whatever he's promised, bettering their lives. It's almost a seduction. Okay, it's the seduction by the con man. And we know that Donald Trump is a con man. He's proven that time and time and time again. And again here, it's inspiring for his base here represented in the disenfranchised, the isolated from societal norms. It's inspiring for them. And it is the illusion of his office and of his power. And so when you find, I guess, in the biographies that have been done on Donald Trump, all of these aspects, these psychological aspects will come forward. He has been very talented in playing these things to an ignorant public, public that was asleep at the wheel, if you like, and now, in order to retain the base support, he is now using the illusion of power of the presidency, and this is why this tough talking, I'm going to, shut down the government until I build a wall. It is bordering on the sublime and the ridiculous that anybody with a right thinking perspective would think shutting down the government, putting people out of work, potentially creating chaos, trouble, danger, and potentially even danger for people could be anything but stupid, reckless, and unhinged. So you can see that there's a legacy of, and in response, the comment is build the wall. I mean, honestly, truly, you can see my frustration. I probably shouldn't have read tonight, people, because it'll probably stir you up a bit. But I just really needed to, I guess, just ask Spirit, why is this taking so long? What do we have to learn? That'll be our next question to Spirit. What do we have to learn? Because this is what I felt. The fact that I had had these experiences in my time in Australia that points to the fact that I needed to learn something here. What have we got to learn from Donald Trump? What have we got to learn? Because there's got to be a reason for this madness, really. What have we got to learn? Tolerance. What have we got to learn? Patience. Non-political ways of communicating. What have we got to learn from Donald Trump? What have we got to learn? Because it's a perilous learning experience. All right, so we've got here the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles is really about leaving a legacy, okay? Creating a new body of work and leaving a legacy for future generations. So we are creating something here. That's what that card is saying. And it's not just confined to America. It is encompassing the globe, the world, the earth. And this also is the card of beginnings and endings. So in this process, this painstaking, hard process of work and creating a particular body of work and leaving a legacy, we are ending something and beginning something else. This card for me has always represented Donald Trump right from the word go. That and the Nine of Cups. This is the monetary aspect of him. And I do see the greenness that is covering his robes is almost like detritus. Is that the right word? You know, the lesson here, what are we ending? What are we leaving behind? It is the binding web of worshipping the dollar, if you like, of putting so much faith and belief in money, and determining people's status due to their money, and it's showing us the falseness of that, and it's holding it up. I mean, these figures behind the King of Pentacles, I think they're goats or rams. They're very almost like the Devil card in this deck. Yeah, you know, it's about worshipping the dollar, and it's where that might lead us, and judging people by that as well. Our place in society, our self-esteem, resting on the laurels of the almighty dollar. And it's judgment. Okay, there's a divine aspect to this reading. There always was going to be. This is judgment coming down upon us as a society, and it's causing us. It's causing us to do the hard work to end the cycle and begin again. Fear not. Endings and beginnings, there is victory here. There is triumph here. There is forward motion here. This is, you know, may not be the knight, but it is the people on the back of this horse. This is not a vain emperor. This is not another leader who's coming forward with, you know, majestical robes, and you know, if you compare this leader to this victor here. This victor is crowned by the people. This is the inspiration coming forward. This is not just one person. This is a victory for the world. Okay. Now the world can mean many things. It can mean each individual country. It can mean global humanity. It can mean the earth. There is victory here coming forward as a result of this worshipping of the almighty dollar. I know this is a hard reading and it's a bit edgy, but I just felt I had to do it. And you know, the King of Pentacles, you know, this mirroring the King of Pentacles, indeed Donald Trump, the two of wands here, making choices. Okay, I think really in the future there will be more rigor around, I guess, how we allow corruption to creep into our politics, how we allow the potential moneyed interests to not only infiltrate the individual rule of countries, but it extends across the globe. If you look at the alliances across the world, and you dig harder for them, again, it's this card is mirroring the focus on the dollar. This person here is holding the globe, the world in their hands, and I think that there will be far more far-sightedness in some way post-Trump. And this is why this situation is all encompassing everybody at the moment. It's not just the people in the US, it is everybody. And the King of Wands, okay, we're going to be looking for leadership that's inspired, that's more benign. And it's funny, who comes up trumps here? It's not the worship of the almighty dollar here. It's the leader who inspires and has something of worth to give us. And we've got potentially a greater chance of unity here coming forward. This is unity sanctioned by the universe. There is a universal aspect to this card. We've got angels' wings, and very much a divine aspect to what might be likely to come forward. There is also a reconnection with the earth here. We've got new growth, and we've got very much these two people are set in the middle of natural surrounds. So it's not only unity with each other, but it's unity with the earth. Well, you know, the reason that this will happen is because of what is happening now. Because what is happening now is not the way forward. It is not the way forward. It is the way backward. And we've got the three of wands here, and this is, you know, mirroring the Lover's card. This again is expansion. You know, it is. You know, mirroring also this card, you know, the querent standing with the globe. There is time for, it is time for a compromise, okay, around the focus that we have on the superficial, on the material, on potentially acquiring so much that, you know, how much is enough? What is never enough? It's time to compromise on those values and look toward a new way of doing things, a more inspired way of doing things. So they are interesting readings coming forward. And yeah, I guess the last question that I will ask here, viewers, is will Trump's support across the world in the US, will it decrease, will it slip, will it slide when he is actually I guess when he steps aside from the presidency, when the Mueller investigation is complete, when it's out in the public domain, once Trump is either told to step down, impeached, whatever his future may be. I've seen him taking a deal. Well, you know, he may well be before the courts in future. Who knows? Once all of these things play out, are we going to get any sort of enlightenment amongst Donald Trump's base? Are we going to have any sort of enlightenment amongst Donald Trump's base, or will they cling to their conspiracy theories? Or will they cling to their conspiracy theories? The Magician, actualising something into reality. That's so far a good card. We've got loans and debts and generosity and help when it is needed. Seems to me that there might be, new inspired action coming forward. It seems to me like there will be, oops, I just dropped something then. I'll pick it up later. There could well be more help for these people under a new government or new leadership. There could be, I'm getting that, you know, Trump's time will come and go, you know, and people will basically forget about him. And we've got, you know, the card of greater unity coming forward. So really, what is now moving toward reality, what is being actualized by all of this, is actually a new unity. So the people that we may not be agreeing with now may very well come around in time and be better supported. And that, you know, we've got new beginnings here in relation to this unity. And the strength of inspired action. So really, I think this reading is saying is that there will be, that we're actually actualizing new ways of doing things going forward. This is all forcing us to do that. and that we'll go through a period where people will be looked after in a better way. Okay, they will be given what they need. So there may be a swing toward governments that actually are inclusive, and it will be new starts, and it will be a lessening of this disenfranchisement in relation to greater unity between I would call them warring factions. There'll be greater unity politically post Donald Trump, and it will be new beginnings, and there will be a greater strength to that. And this is the Seven of Pentacles, and so this again is the Harvest card. What this is saying is that the work should never stop. If we take our eyes off the harvest, or if we take our eyes off the vine, the growth, then what's going to happen? The growth will stop. So there is, I guess, caution here in this reading to show that these efforts have to be sustained and continued, because otherwise you're just going to get the same situation coming up again. You're getting the cynical, you're getting the disenchanted, you're getting the disappointed, and something small being offered to them that they will potentially take, and again we have this cycle starting again. And again, the inspired action. And I could keep pulling cards. And this reading I'm hearing strongly is that if we don't sustain this inclusive approach, the cycle will start again. The new growth will wither on the vine. So there's a caution there for us. I'm sure if we go back in history, historians, scholars of history will tell us that I guess this has happened in the past. We had the fall of the Roman Empire. We had the French Revolution. Wherever in the world we actually got it happening in Russia at the moment with Vladimir Putin running around the globe, being the aggressor when he should be looking after his own people and not provoking even more sanctions on them. It's this again, this greed, these personal agendas. If we keep recycling that, the same thing will happen again and again. So, what lessons can we learn? I've got a feeling that my intuition or my readings in the past have actually pointed to America leading the way in this, that there will be significant reform in years to come, as it is the case with America and their leadership. But that's my feeling, that out of all of this will come significant reform that hopefully, because all we can do is hope, that hopefully will not just start the cycle again. And so if it's not Trump, it'll be someone else. So, what sort of hope have we got for the future? I'm just going to pull one more card. And we've got long-term security here. Okay, we're going to be holding on to our money. All right, that's not a very positive card here. It's showing that we may not learn. And I have some clarity here, please. Yeah, it's going to be hard work. Okay, there's no miracles here. And we're going to get ourselves into that sort of situation again if we don't learn. I think, yeah, okay, the Lovers. Okay, this is unity here, unity coming forward, and again defending oneself. This is rivalries and fights, and okay, and the hope. Okay, so there's still hope. I was hoping I'd pull that card because the Four of Pentacles is all about holding on to bad habits, holding on to fears of financial insecurity. You can see there is hope, all right? I'm definitely going to finish this reading here because while it's not guaranteed and it's not certain, there is hope. And I think that's what we have. We have the hope that somehow this will be a sustained change, and that we will learn what we need to learn from this situation. There are the readings. I have to pause after that reading because it was quite intense. Anyway, I'll be interested to hear, this is kind of a bit of an out of left field reading for you, and primarily provoked by my political, discussion today, which I wouldn't say it was pleasant. But there is hope. There is hope that maybe we might move away from worshipping the almighty dollar and move toward a more compassionate way of doing things that doesn't draw on our fears, but instead draws on our humanity and, dare I say it, I don't use the word lightly, but our love of our fellow human being. Hope. I'll leave you with hope tonight. Thank you.